Rocket football fans, guess where we're at? Week 10. It's hard to believe, Coach Thompson, we've come through this whole regular season football. We have 7 wins, 2 losses, and we're going to play a team this week's pretty good, Todd Central. They're 6-3. Come into this game with Coach, a big football team. Yeah, big guys, thick guys.
They have multiple 300-pounders. They got 240, 250-pound backs. It's going to be a big team on the field Friday, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very physical game.
Yeah, they look physical. Yeah. The little bit of film that I saw, just really, even the receivers are big guys.
Big guys. And they got some athletes out there as well, but it's a big team. It's not what we're used to seeing every week as far as this many big guys on the field. And they play really hard. Coach Keith's got it turned around over there, and they're winning games.
This is a team that lost every game of the season 3 years ago. Yeah. So he has turned it around, sure. And they've played quite well. The only losses they have are in their district.
Yeah, so they're playing a tough district.
Tough district. Yeah. Owensboro Catholic, McLean County beat them pretty good. And they also lost Hancock County.
Another tough team.
They beat Butler County, so that's a 5-team district. But yeah, pretty good football team. And let's talk a little bit about some of the other teams around the state. We talk about this RPI every week, and we talk about, it's time to start talking about playoffs. We've been wanting to talk about it all along, but now it's really time.
You've been wanting to talk about it.
It's really time to talk about the playoffs. And it looks like a lot of, at least let's just kind of concentrate on the western half of the state, because that's where we're going to play at least the first 3 rounds. And it looks like most of these other districts are cut and dry. We have an idea who's going to come out of those. But gosh, that second district where you've got Campbellsville and Holy Cross and Bethlehem, and they've just beat up on one another. Yeah. Each of them have 1 loss, and we don't know who's going to come out of that.
Yeah, I think it all depends on the health of Corley.
Malachi Corley was out last week, and they lost narrowly to Holy Cross.
He went down at the end of the first half against.
Of course, we're talking about Campbellsville.
Yeah,
clarify who we're talking about.
They were up pretty good on Bethlehem before he went down, and they were able to come back and make it a game. Yeah. So, but they held off that game, and then the next week he didn't play at all, and Holy Cross was able to pull off the upset. And Holy Cross lost to Bethlehem before any of this happened. So it's a 3-way tie there. It's 3 good football teams, and that's the interesting one to watch when it comes to RPI, because depending on who it is, the RPI is where
it's going to seed it too.
Yeah. So if Campbellsville ends up winning in the playoffs out of that district, they're behind us in the RPI, but the other 2 schools are ahead of us. So. And honestly, if Corley's healthy, I think that Campbellsville is the team to come out. So what that does is make us a 3 instead of a 4, or depending on where we end up in RPI. If it was today, that's the difference between being a 3 and a 4. Who comes out of that district? So
the bottom line is, in that 3rd round, we could be in southern Cincinnati, we could be in Louisville, we could be in Campbellsville. Yeah. And if something crazy were to happen, which I don't believe it can at this point, yeah. I don't think we can host one if we get to that round. Yeah, it would have to be something really, I haven't looked at those scenarios. But hey, let's take a break and hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
Ever since I was a child, I've loved land. I loved every land. My mother's father was a farmer, so my granddaddy and his father was a farmer, and I spent my childhood's summers in coming to Kentucky and working on the farm, and everything from the smell of dirt to feeling it run, the dirt go between your fingers. There's nothing like it.
5 regular season home games, at least 2 home playoff games, at 8 touchdowns per, 56 touchdowns. That's a lot of booms.
All right, Coach Thompson, let's talk a little bit about Todd Central. The Rebels come in here. They're a team that we've beaten 10 out of 15 times in the history, in the series, and we beat them the last 6 times we played them. But we haven't played them lately. They hadn't been on our schedule. We hadn't seen them in the past few years, but they come in here and feel pretty good about their team. I know you have to. The way they can run the football. And tell us about, they run some, this is power football. Tell us what we're going to see.
Old school power football. They're going to line up in a wishbone. You're going to get a lot of broken eye type stuff. But you're just going to basically get multiple big sets. And they're going to bring a lot of weight at you, and they're going to run the ball.
They've got a tackle or at least a linebacker at the fullback.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes he's big as a lineman.
And their tailback's big. He's huge.
He is big.
You know, as far as us and running backs to compare him, you know, Sammy Impostado, or one of our freshman running back, he's a big, thick downhill runner, but he's little compared to those guys.
I don't know anybody we've seen in a while that has a running back this
That
large.
big, yeah, maybe like Union County's running back, but
Russellville had one a couple of years
yeah.
ago that
And we
was
struggled
a big
with
guy.
that one. So
We're going to as far as defensively and what do you do this week to get these guys ready to tackle big guys?
you know, we work on tackling every week of the season, since the season started all the way back in July. Because you don't have to be tackling to be working on tackling. Coach Cordy does a good job of making sure that we break down the different techniques to different tackles and all that. But with him, it's going to be about making sure we stay low, make sure we hold on.
Is Seth Guest giving any instruction this week? Because those tackles he had a couple of weeks ago, he takes
he's
it away.
definitely leading one of the stations in the tackling circuit. So. You know, it's just about playing 11 men to the football. Our secondary is going to have to come in the box or come downhill and help make tackles and be a part of the run defense this week. Linebackers are going to have to, fill their alleys and their gaps. The free safety is going to have to come fill the alley, and our D-lines is going to have to be able to penetrate, find a way to get in their backfield, and that's going to be tough to do with the line as big as they have.
Mm-hmm. When you've got these guys that are that big, you're not going to get them up around the shoulder pads and bring them down. And sometimes we kind of get caught in that, don't we?
Yeah, we're gonna have to have buddy. We're gonna have to work together.
Buddy system.
Yeah, we're gonna have to be together. If you're alone, you're gonna have to go low, and you're gonna have to, it's perfect tackle. Shoot the hips, sink the hips, shoot the arms, wrap up, and wrap up, spin.
I know our linebackers are as physical as any we play, but gosh, these guys are a lot bigger than them. So you get them down, coming downhill, and it's going to be a chore. So
yeah, and it's tough. This is a week where you're missing T-Bone, so we're having to put another person in. So one of the things we've done is we've really worked Hunter Jones. He's done this for us in the past, is moving in the box and playing linebacker for us. And in this, we'll see him play some linebacker as well as some other guys, but that's one of the things we've done in the past, and he'll have to step in and play one of those spots. And what that does, it puts McAllister in the middle, who last year when Tebow was down, he was the middle linebacker, and he played big for us there. So it's going to be a big part of those guys are going to have to fly downhill and play some defense.
the vast majority of their offense is the power run, but they do throw the ball pretty well, and those big guys are not. They're not slow.
They're big and athletic.
They
And
are.
they have an athlete for a quarterback. He's a guy that they like to get out in space a little bit and run him. They have weapons, and they do a good job of feeding all of them. And we're just going to have to play one of our better games defensively. I think our kids are up for the task. Typically these teams that are heavy on one thing we've been successful with in the past. Coach Courtney does a great job of breaking you down and really having a good game plan in place. So it's no differently this week. The kids just got to go out and execute it.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about the Rockets.
Hello, I'm Rick Hughes at Deer Lakes Golf Course in Salem, Kentucky, home of Rocket Golfers.
Full Body Fitness, training Rockets and Rocket fans since 2006.
I love option play.
Was that a 42 speed option?
Are you looking for a banking option?
Sequence, double credit union.
Coming to Marion soon.
Cashback, please.
25 cents.
I need to cash this, please.
25 cents.
Cashback, please.
25 cents. Hunter, why are you shortchanging the customers?
At this window, all you get's a quarterback.
All right, welcome back to the show. Coach Thompson, you alluded to this earlier. Tyler Boone, one of the most recognizable players, certainly one of the most recognizable juniors across the state of Kentucky. Injured last week. He's played injured the last couple of weeks, but this one may knock him out for a while.
Yeah, he's basically has a torn muscle in the hip or from the pelvic bone. I don't know exactly, but it's real tender for him. There was some blood that was collecting internally and putting some pressure on him in his lower back and maybe some internal organs and whatnot. But that seemed to clear up, and I got to see him today. He's able to move around and get around. He's got a smile on his face, which is huge, because when you take something away from someone they love, it's difficult. But you know, he's up and around, and he's back home.
He did spend a few days in the hospital after the game. They took him up. Pretty serious situation there for a while, not knowing what was going on.
Not knowing exactly what was going on was the big issue, and it could have been very serious if we were just lucky, you know, that it wasn't that, and you know, so this is where we're at, and you know, he'll be one of the best coaches on the sideline, and he'll be one of the biggest fans as well.
Still keep Tyler in your prayers and thoughts, and as we go along, because as Coach Thompson mentioned, football means so much to him as it does a lot of these guys, and it shows, and you know, it's going to be tough mentally as he recovers, as well as physically, for him to bounce back from this. So we will get on a bright spot. Travis Guest will be back. He was ejected in that Fulton County game. We've talked about that. Not sure exactly why, but nonetheless, he was out. We're not going to question the officials, but getting him back, and that's got to help shore up that defense too.
It gives us another guy that's battle tested and can play. Another guy that you can trust to go out there and make plays, know he has the ability to do it, and it's nice to have him back. And one thing about Travis is he goes hard no matter what. Whether he messes up or doesn't understand something, he goes 100 miles an hour no matter what. And as a coach, you say that to the kids, you know, if you're gonna mess up 100 miles an hour. He's the one kid in my entire career, even though it's not been that long, 10 years I guess now, that when you tell him it's okay to mess up 100 miles an hour, he does it. He believes it, and that's good. It's what allows him to be able to go out there and compete. So it's good to have him back, and we'll see. We'll use him.
I don't know that this next guy we're going to talk about runs 100 miles an hour, but he runs like a tank at about 85. That's Xander Tabor, the WPSD Player of the Week. Give him a shout out for that. Xander has just been a beast. We've known it. We saw it coming in the off season, and he is taking it, and the hashtag prove it. He's proven it this year. Every week, 200 yards rushing, 3 of the last 4 games. I mean, what can you say? What else can you say?
I mean, this is what we've been saying from the beginning. We knew we had a running back in X coming into this season, someone that can really make every play, you know, someone that can carry the load, and he's showing it with the carries he's getting each week, that he can carry the load and play defense. You know, he's tough. He's a downhill runner with the ability to cut and ability to make plays in space. So it's great to have him on our team. I'm happy he's having this success individually, but when it comes down to it, is he wants to win each week. So that's what he's trying to do. He's not going for that next yard. He's trying to find a way to win, and that's what I love about it.
And, you know, he's really been giving a shout-out to his linemen because, you know, he's not a guy that's going to beat you around the corner.
Yeah, no.
He's coming through the belly.
Yeah. And the line's done a great job. You know, talking about the beginning of the year again, that's one of the things we question is how long will it take for our line to grow up and be able to open those holes up and protect our quarterback. And all year long they've done this. Our line's been consistent, and it's one of the strengths of our team. And the good thing about it is 4 out of the 5 are underclassmen. Right. So, you know, and then the guys come in. When you talk 7 top 10, you lose 2 of them. 2 of them in graduation. and that's a really good group. So the future is bright for our line, which means the future is bright for our running backs and our quarterbacks. And it's a comfort zone for a coach to know that your line can handle the situation. So.
And the guy you've got right now running quarterback, Luke Kreider, just a sophomore, came in 2 games ago at halftime of the Fulton County game, and so far he's been pretty sharp, hasn't he?
Yeah, Luke is just cool, easy going.
Cool hand Luke.
And that's good because I'm not so cool all the time, and I might be a little intense, but he takes it well.
If you wouldn't, and we talked about this on the podcast on Monday, but this is, I think, characteristic of what kind of a player he is. Talk about the play where the snap was a little wide and he adjusted.
Yeah, he on the touchdown to Morganson, that was actually a run play. That's called. We tagged the RPO on it. And I don't know pre-snap. We haven't talked about it. I don't know pre-snap if he was going there, but the snap came in a little wide left. And, he did everything his coach did. You can see on film because we got that end zone camera the quarterback club hooked us up with. You can see on camera his eyes follow the ball wide left away from the RPO and away from the running back. And he has the wherewithal to turn his shoulders to show run, to throw the ball because he wasn't able to hand the ball off and put it on the money to Morganson in the end zone, and that ended up being the difference in
the football
1
game.
Seed and a 2 or 3 seed. So, he believes in what he's doing, and I trust him because of that. So,
yeah. Great job so far by Luke Kreider, and we look forward to watching him grow in the next few games.
Sure.
I assume you're going to continue what you've been doing, kind of rotating some of these other guys in behind the center.
I think that you'll continue to see 3 guys play quarterback. Well, 4 if you count X in the monster set. I think you'll continue to see that. But it's all about what teams are giving us. Todd County, defensively, they play man. So we'll have to go out and take advantage of some matchups. So whoever has the hot hand and can put the ball where it needs to be, that'll be the guy that we go with. But he deserves his chance. He deserves to be out there because he's gone out there and done nothing but positive things.
Certainly glad to see him doing well here late in the season as we head into the playoffs. We're going to head into another break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Through the week, we are welding and fabricating. On Friday nights, we are grinding it out with the Rockets. Touchdown, Rockets!
Welcome to Hometown Chiropractic. I'll be right with you.
Since 1973, Hodges has been equipping Rockets and Rocket fans with gear and apparel. Come see us! We'll see you here Friday night at the football game.
Here at H&H, we've got just about anything that it takes to get you back out on the field.
Hey, Rocket football fans!
Let Rommel Ellington tackle your dirty ride.
All right, welcome back to the show, and I want to take this opportunity to remind everyone about Boots for Bucks, sponsored by Whitetail Properties, our primary sponsor here for the Coach Show, and that's Mark Williams, agent, and he is sponsoring this kick. And if you go online onto Facebook, on the Crittenden Press Facebook page, and find the promo for Boot for Bucks, and share that, that's where we pick the kickers from. Last week we had police officer James Duncan came out in uniform, and I'm going to tell you, it's a 35-yard field goal is the first attempt, and had he been 5 yards up, that was through the uprights.
Yeah, I heard the roar. I was doing what I do. I was walking off the field with the officials, and I heard the roar. It caused me to turn around. I said, guys, we got to get out of the way. I don't want to take a ball in the back of the head. That's embarrassing.
He had a shot. So, hey, if you want to get out there and give that a shot, win $100, and then he gets $100 if you kick it for the football program. So go on there and share that, and we will pick a winner Thursday evening. Also, want to remind everybody about our trivia question. We're gonna go through our trivia question in just a moment. But if you know the answer to it, go down to H&H Home and Hardware, give them the answer, and you will win a free round of golf at Deer Lakes Golf Course. This week, this is going to be a fun one this week, Coach
I
Thompson.
don't think it's fun.
Which former Rocket quarterback, now you remember he was a quarterback, which former Rocket quarterback set the record for pass attempts against Todd Central? So you guys who get in there and rifle through all the archives on the website, you're going to spend a little time looking for this one. But the quarterback who threw the most attempts in any game against Todd Central. That's our trivia question of the week, and we'll be back in just a moment and close out the show.
You go to the game this week, you go in style, Rocket fans. Come by Max 2 Custom Kit and Detail for $15 more.
From our team to yours, we're behind you all the way, Rockets. Par 4 Plastics, where people make the difference.
T-Bone, good luck this week.
Thank you.
Good luck this week, Titan.
Boys, we gotta know what the game plan is this week. We're banking on you.
I'm Darren Tabor, Homestead Auction Realty. Let us get you across the goal line with a new home.
Hey Kelly, it's almost Friday.
And we'll see you at Rocket Stadium.
All right, welcome back to the closing segment. Coach Thompson, this will be senior night. Yeah. And I know we're going to recognize not only football players, but fall sports.
Yeah.
But let's talk about our football guys. And you have 7 seniors, and although they don't all start, they play an integral part of this football program.
Yeah, for sure they do. This is one of the smaller senior classes we've had since I've been back, since the first year, really, the first senior class.
And typically when you have a small senior class, you're down.
Your numbers are down, and you're struggling because you're young on the field. Right. But you know, these guys have for the majority of them are 4-year guys, and have been with us. We had Jordan Urbanowski join this group this year. He's a guy I wish would have been playing all the way through because there's something to him. He's a guy that can play. He's just having that time. That lack of development, freshman, sophomore, and even junior year. He's a guy that could have played. So he's been a guy that stepped in this year defensively and played for us at times and got better. You know, it's just like I said, I wish he would have played 4 years to see what he could have been. Then you got the rest of the guys are 4-year guys. That's Alex Marshall, Travis Guest, Jagger Hayes, Riley Gobin, Hunter Jones, and Justin Phillips. But they're the guys that stuck it out because their class was bigger than that when they came from 8th graders into high school. But they're the ones that stuck it out, and it's paid off. They've had a very successful career of Rocket football. You know, not all of them necessarily been on the field as much as some of them, but they've been a part of the team and taken us from what we were when they were freshmen to where we're at now as a program, and they've been there. Kind of roll your sleeves up and go to work type of group.
It's tough to run that scout team all the time.
Oh my goodness, yes. And, but they do a great job. They've done a great job. They'll be greatly missed. Hopefully that when we come out and we honor them this week with a big crowd and go out and get a win for them.
Well, I know it takes dedication from the players, but it also takes dedication from the parents because you know they didn't drive for many years. Yeah. And getting them to practice, getting to all those, when everybody else is out of school and gone, and you have early practice or a late practice, and just a lot of dedication for a family to play 4 years of high school football. Yeah. Any sport, for that matter.
Yeah, it is. It's a commitment, and our kids do a great job in all of our athletics. And once they're involved, they're committed, and you know, it's demanding. So I did it. I know what it's like, and I lived all the way out in Mattoon back there with the.
You had to walk to practice several times,
especially when my mama was mad at me. But you know, it's nice to have a group like this, a small group. They're close, and they love the game. We're gonna miss them. You know, a lot of those guys have been on the field for us. You know, people. Hunter Jones and Riley Govan are multi-year starters for us. Jagger, he's been on the field. for us and been dependable. Justin Phillips the past 2 years has been out there, and then Alex Marshall is tough, and he's tough, and he's gotten so much better. He's a guy that maybe hasn't always been able to understand me, or I joke a lot, I say a lot of jokes, and Alex is serious, he's a literal guy, and so it's been hard for him to always understand maybe if I was joking or not. But over years I felt like me and him have gotten really close, and I'll never forget one day in practice he's playing defense, and someone's going vertical on him, and he was struggling with staying on top of guys, and he stays on top and he makes this one-handed catch, and everybody there, his jaws drop, and me and him, our eyes connected, and it's a full speed sprint at me, and then he gets to me, and then it's like, well, I'm here now, I don't know what to do. So then everybody just stops, and that was it. So it's times like that I'll remember that forever. I don't know that he remembers it, but I'll remember that forever. So we'll always be connected through that memory, and that's what you start thinking about when you have these guys that you've been with, and they start graduating on you.
I always say you have 4 years to play and a lifetime to talk about it. So let's all come out on Friday night, celebrate this senior class, and celebrate the final regular season game of the 2019 season, and let's celebrate a victory over Todd Central. We'll see you at Rocket Stadium Friday night, kickoff 7 p.m.
Everything in this country was built from the ground up, and it starts with land. When I can go out and take somebody onto a property and see that gleam in their eye when they find a farm that they fall in love with because they're as passionate about land as I am, that's when the magic happens. That's what makes what we do so great. There's no dollar amount. There's nothing else that can compare to the look you get when somebody signs on that dotted line and their dreams have come true about owning land.